was a man. He was walking down the street one day. It was sunny and bright outside, and he was approaching a crosswalk. He got to the crosswalk and he stopped and he thought for a while. He thought, if I cross this crosswalk, then I will be on the other side of the street. He thought about it some more, and then he finally went across the street. When he got to the other side, he looked up at a tall building. He wondered how many floors it might have. 14 seemed like a decent guess. Yeah, 14, he said, and then he carried on. He thought about the revolving door in front of it that he could have went through, but he felt like he had no business inside. Then he decided maybe he should get back home, because he forgot that he had planned to mow his lawn. He waited for the bus, and it eventually arrived. He got on the bus and paid the bus fare and all that stuff. And then he got home. He went around to his backyard. He went into the shed and grabbed his lawnmower. He started to mow his lawn, but the grass was too long, so it didn't cut very well, because you see, he has an old style lawnmower, not the kind that uses gas. No, it just uses manpower, and he felt the blades might be too dull. So with the blades being too dull, and the grass being too long, there was just a low chance that he was going to be able to cut the grass nicely. So he decided that he needed to get some sharpening tools for his lawnmower. He went back to the bus stop in his neighborhood, and he got back on another bus to go into the city again. When he got into the city, he walked to the hardware store. He went in and found just one person inside. There was a person sitting behind the counter. They were clearly having a slow day. He said, "I'm looking for a couple parts for sharpening my lawnmower." I had watched a video about how to do it. Maybe you can look it up on your computer. So he watched while the clerk looked up the video on the computer behind the counter, and he watched some more while the clerk watched the video. He just tapped his fingers on his hip while he waited. When the video was done playing, the clerk said, "Yeah, we don't have those things." So the man left the store unfulfilled. He walked down to a bar. The place was fairly empty. He took a seat at the bar and talked to the bartender. She said, "What'll it be?" He said, "Well, honestly, rather than a drink, I'm actually hoping for some lawnmower sharpening tools." She laughed and said, "Well, what do you want to drink?" He said, "Give me a beer." "Okay, coming right up." And she said, "You know, if you want, maybe I could lend you my lawnmower." The man said, "Well, that would be pretty handy of you to lend me your lawnmower. I mean, I'm a complete stranger to you, so that's very generous." She said, "No problem. Well, on second thought, it would make me more comfortable if you maybe left me like 20 bucks. The man checked his pocket. He said, "I don't have 20 bucks, but maybe I could do something else." She said, "Like what?" He said, "Maybe I could tell a joke that would make you laugh." She said, "I'm all ears, but just be warned that I hear a lot of jokes in my day. But go ahead, try and make me laugh." The man said, "Okay." Let me think for a moment. Okay, yeah, I got an old favorite. Why did the lamp cross the road? She said, did you say a lamp? Yeah, like a light. She said, I don't know. Why did the lamp cross the road? The guy chuckled and said, because there's an outlet mall on the other side. She said, oh, that's kind of funny. And I've heard a lot of lamp jokes in my day. Okay, you can borrow my lawnmower. It's just in the back beside the bathroom. The man said, thanks, bartender. I said, actually, sorry, what's your name? So I don't have to call you bartender. She said, my name is Barbara. Nice to meet you, Barbara, the bartender. I'm gonna go get that lawnmower now. So he grabbed the lawnmower and wheeled it out of the bar. Then he wheeled it to the bus stop. People looked at him because people don't usually have a lawnmower downtown. And what else was weird that he thought was that, you know, it wasn't like it was a bar where there was an apartment over top of the bar. There was no lawn out back of it. Yet this bartender had a lawnmower in their bar. But anyways, he shrugged it off, and the bus arrived. He said to the bus driver, hey, is it okay if I bring this lawnmower on your bus? And the guy said, yeah, I don't really care, as long as you can get it on. The guy said, okay. He got the bus on not the bus, he didn't get the bus, he got the lawnmower on the bus, yeah. And it was kind of difficult too because, you know, little steps going up. And the lawnmower was a little heavy because, you see, it was a gas mower, not the little push mower he was used to. So he's riding downtown, and another man got on the bus and he said, what you doing with that lawnmower? Well, he said, I'm taking it home and I'm gonna mow my lawn. What do you think? And the guy said, hey, you don't need to get defensive. And the man said, yeah, you're right. But anyways, yeah, I'm just going home to mow my lawn. And the guy said, oh yeah, well, that's a good thing to do today. It's nice outside. The guy said, yeah. Not the guy, but the man. When I say the man, I mean the main character. The guy could mean like another person in the story. So we got guy and man. So anyways, the guy said, alright, well, this is my stop now. And he got off. A few stops later, it was the man's house again. And he wheeled the lawnmower around to his backyard. He started to pull the lever. The lawnmower wouldn't start. Then he tried hitting that button that you're supposed to hit 3 times. He tried to pull the lever again, but still it wouldn't start. And then he realized that the lawnmower didn't have any gas. And he thought, yeah, I don't keep any gas around here. You see, my usual lawnmower doesn't need gas. I guess I gotta go out and get gas, but do I really want to today? You know what, maybe I'll just let my grass grow out. That could be an alright look. Well, I should do something else today, he thought. So he went to his garage and took his sports car out on the road. He thought it was time to stop wasting all his change on bus fare for the day. He drove out to the desert, which was conveniently 3 minutes from his house. And he drove 180 kilometers an hour over sand and rocks. He got a lot of scratches on his car in the process. He didn't really think it was very smart of him to have done that. But he thought if he had driven 180 kilometers on the actual road, he could have got a speeding ticket. But he wouldn't get pulled over on the dirt. got a spare tire out of his trunk. It was just one of those flimsy little donuts that you're only supposed to go 50 kilometers an hour on. And he put the little donut on his sports car. And he said, I'm not gonna get out of this canyon either way. He climbed out of the canyon. It was getting kinda hot. He wished he had brought a water bottle. That would have been quite handy. Now he's walking through the desert. He left his sports car behind. And all of a sudden he saw a few horses and a wagon approaching. They pulled over and said, "What are you doing way out here, man?" He said, "I don't know, I've kinda just been horsing around today, but without a horse. I wrecked my car back there. Would you mind giving me a lift?" They said, "Sure, you can get in the back of the wagon if you want." He climbed into the back of the wagon. It was full of jars of honey and a few loaves of bread. He said to the man up front, you know, dealing with the horses, what do you call that? You know, like the coach, the horse coach, right? Flapping those little leather straps to make the horses go. Yeah. See, this guy, he didn't know a lot about horses and terminology. But anyways, he said to the guy, "Hey, do you mind if I make a honey sandwich?" And the guy said, "No, go ahead. I love picking up strangers and taking them places while they eat all my food in the back." And the guy said, "Oh, okay, well, it's alright if you don't want to let me have a sandwich back here." And the guy said, no, like, I didn't mean to be sarcastic, I appreciate when I can help out." And the man said, "Oh, that's nice. That's a good quality to have." So he rode back in the back of the wagon, looking out at the desert, eating honey sandwiches and dreaming about peanut butter. They arrived into the city. A cop pulled them over. He said, "Hey, you can't take horses through the downtown area." The guy up front said, "Oh, well, I'm just dropping this guy off. See, I found him in the desert, walking away from a crashed sports car." The cop said, "Well, I'll take him from here." So the man got out of the wagon, and he climbed into the back of the police car. The man said to the cop through the little gate thing, over the bench seat thing, or, you know, the glass partition. Yeah. He said, "Do you have anything to drink?" And the cop said, "No. But we could stop by a convenience store if you like." They went into a convenience store, and the man said, "You know what, I could really go for a glass of chocolate milk." And the cop said, "Well, go in and get it." He walked past the aisles of cereal and other breakfast things like oatmeal, and he reached the back fridge. And see, he wanted a glass of chocolate milk, but then he remembered, well, you can't really get a glass of chocolate milk in a convenience store. I'll have to settle for one of these, you know, little plasticky containers of chocolate milk. But that'll do just fine, he thought. He took his milk up to the counter and paid for the chocolate milk. And then he walked back outside and said, "Oh yeah, I guess I gotta go back with the cop now." The cop revved the engine. The man said, "Okay, yeah, I'm getting inside, hold on." And he got back in the back of the cop car. "Are you taking me to jail?" he said. The cop turned and said, "No. Honestly, I don't even know why I took you off that guy. But it's kind of a slow day right now. But you know what? I did get a call about a disturbance in a neighborhood nearby. Would you mind coming along?" The man in the back thought about it. And he said, "Yeah, I don't really have anything going on today, sure." They got to a house in a neighborhood south of downtown. And there was screaming and loud sounds. cop car and cautiously walked towards it. The man said, "I probably shouldn't be doing this with you. I'm not like a police officer or anything." And the cop said, "No, that's okay. Just hang tight." A woman in a bathrobe ran outside waving a broom. She said, "My cat peed all over the couch." The cop said, "Is that what this is all about?" And the woman said, "Yeah." "What else would it be about?" She said, "Did you not hear me? The cat peed all over the couch. That's not gonna come out, that's gonna smell." The officer said, "Okay, I got some like Febreze in the back of my cop car. Maybe we can Febreze the smell out." The officer turned to the man and he said, "Look man, this might take a while. Maybe you should be on your way." And the guy said, "Yeah, I'd like to leave now." Now the man was on his way, walking down the street. It was starting to get a little later now, but the sun was still up. It's just that there was a few clouds in front of the sun now, so it just seemed a bit darker. And he wondered what he should do. He went into a hardware store, but not the same hardware store he'd been in before. He thought maybe I could find those things I was looking for earlier. When all of a sudden, he's standing in an aisle looking at plumber's putty. Even though he didn't need plumber's putty, it just caught his eye. Someone went into the store with the ski mask on and started holding up the place. The man got a little worried. And all of a sudden, he saw the guy coming down the aisle he was in. And he held out a knife and said, "Hey, give me your wallet or I'll stab you with this knife." The man looked at the knife. It was certainly a knife, and it could probably stab him. He said, "Okay, well hold on. Let me get my wallet out. Let's just take it easy here." The guy said, "Show me what's in your wallet." "Okay. Well, I got a $2 bill, which they don't really have in circulation anymore. And I got this Subway stamp card, where you can get like a 6-inch sub after you get so many stamps, and I got 3 out of 12 stamps." The guy said, "Well, I guess I'll take it." And then the man said, "Well, yeah, but I don't want you to be in a pinch where you go to Subway hoping to redeem this card, and, you know, to be honest, I haven't been to Subway in a few years, and I don't even know if they still do this promotion." The crook thought about it. He said, "Yeah, I don't really want that card weighing me down if I don't need it. And you got nothing else in that wallet, do you?" The man said, "Oh no, hang on a second. I got last month's bus pass." The burglar said, "Well, what would last month's bus pass do for me?" The man said, "Well, you could claim it on your income tax, I guess. But you know, I just don't see you as being the kind of guy that even pays his taxes." And the crook said, "Hey, I pay my taxes. I just filed them a couple weeks ago, in fact." The man said, "Okay, well then, take last month's bus pass from me, and this $2 bill, and be on your way. And don't stab me. Okay." And the man also said, "Hey, I can tell you're going through a hard time right now, but, you know, good luck. I hope things turn around for you." And the crook said, "Thank you. I hope so too." The man left the hardware store. It was still being robbed. He forgot that the crook had also told him that he wanted everyone to remain inside while he was holding up the place, but honestly, the man got kind of bored being there. He could kind of see how things were going to go. The man was probably going to walk away with all the stuff in the cash register and maybe a few decent items from the store. Like maybe that silicone that you use to seal the leak in your bathtub. That's kind of a handy product. He could understand the guy wanted to yank a jar of that. But anyways, he thought he better take off from there. He found himself thinking about that bartender he met earlier. Not just because she was kind of nice, Barbara the bartender, but also because he has to return a lawnmower to her at some point. He knew that would be hanging over his head. And all of a sudden, he heard a whole bunch of sirens. Something even bigger was going on in his day now. He didn't know what it was. And he saw all the cops driving by. He thought, you know what, I'll just walk the other way. Stay away from whatever that is. He reached a payphone. He thought maybe he would call the bar and tell him, I won't be able to get that lawnmower back to you today, but I'll get it back sometime next week. And then it dawned on him that he didn't have any change for the payphone. And he also noticed that the payphone wasn't even operating anymore. And he didn't have a cell phone. He left it in his shed. Well, he was gonna have to figure out how to get away home now. And he kind of thought about life. He's like, it's Saturday. I got nothing going on Sunday. I gotta go back to work on Monday. I don't know, I just don't know what I want to do with the rest of my weekend, he thought. So he walked outside. He was already outside. But anyways, he walked back to the bar. He went and said, hey Barbara. Barbara? Barbara. She said, sorry, I was asleep there. Sometimes on a slow day I grab this pillow and I rest it on the bar and I just sleep for a few minutes. The man said, even with the door unlocked? She said, yeah. You know, usually I wake up when I hear the little thing jingle. I just didn't today. The man said, fair enough. He said, hey, I just wanted to tell you that I won't be able to get your lawnmower back today, but I absolutely want to get it back to you because I really appreciated you lending it to me. And she said, hey, I get off work pretty soon here. Do you want to go for a walk? The man said, absolutely. How soon do you get off work? She said, just in 4 hours. Okay, he thought, I'm not sure what I'm going to do for 4 hours, but that's okay, yeah, okay. She said, well, you could walk down to the river and maybe catch us some fish. Okay, do you have a fishing pole I could borrow? Yeah. And she reached under the bar and pulled up a fishing pole and handed it over to the man. He thought, oh man, I have a lot of things that I'm gonna have to return to this bartender now. And he took the fishing pole and he wandered off away from the downtown area. It took him an hour. He was very sweaty and he wished he had asked for something to drink while he was at the bar. He was very thirsty. He tried to catch a fish. He wasn't having much luck. There was another guy standing on a rock, a few rocks down, having more success. He said, hey, what's your secret? And the skilled fisherman said, I don't know, I've just been doing this a long time. But I guess patience helps. And a little finesse with how I cast my, fishing pole. You want to have the perfect cast, is what I always heard growing up, the guy said. And the man said, oh, like in that Goofy movie, The Perfect Cast, where they go fishing on Lake Destiny. the guy said, yeah, I'm not too familiar with Disney movies, but sure. And the man, he tried to lay out a perfect cast, and it was pretty perfect. It went about 14 feet out, and he caught this can, and he reeled it back in. And the can clearly used to be for some beans. It was empty now, but there was some leaves in it, and you know, he thought it was good that he had caught something, and he could kind of build off that experience. And then he saw a shark fin, and he thought that was very unusual to see a shark on the river just near the downtown area in this city that's way in the mainland from the ocean. There's no way a shark could have got here unless someone put the shark there. Then he got something pulling on his fishing pole, and it was clearly in the direction of where that shark was swimming around. He started thinking about, oh man, imagine if I pulled in a shark. Could you imagine? And then the fishing pole, it just kind of slipped really easily out of his hands. And then the man thought, okay, well now I owe the bartender a fishing pole. And then he said to the experienced fisherman a few rocks down, hey, I'm gonna leave now, I lost my fishing pole. And the experienced fisherman said, yeah, I saw, I couldn't help but notice. Good luck. Maybe you need a different hobby. And the man said, you know what, I agree. I wasn't in love with this hobby. He walked back to the bar. It took another hour and then he got there. He walked inside and said, hey, I lost your fishing pole. Barbara said she was still sleeping. He jingled the door thing a few times, and then she awoke. He said, hey, I just said that I lost your fishing pole. She said, seriously? He said, yeah. What happened was a shark pulled it away from me. She said, you know, I have a hard time believing that. And he said, I don't blame you. She said, okay, I can close up shop now. Want to take my vehicle out back? He said, absolutely. I don't know if you know, but I mostly take the bus, and I crashed my sports car in the desert today. She said, I didn't know that, but I could kind of get that impression from you. They went around back, and she had kind of a nice old Jeep. It was a little rusty, but you know, it was a good 90s Jeep, and the guy thought it was pretty nice. Nice. They got into the Jeep. She ripped off the vinyl top parts so they could feel the evening air through their hair. They drove around downtown, just wasting gas. And then she said, we should go do something fun. The man said, well, this has been kind of fun, just wasting gas and feeling the evening hair in my, not the evening hair in my hair, but feeling the evening breeze in my hair has been nice. He said, yeah. She said, you have a hard time talking to people, don't you? And the man said, yeah, sometimes. She said, I can understand. She said, hey, I know this bridge in a county, 4 counties away. Do you want to go there? And he said, why a bridge? And the man said, or no, not the man, he was done making his point. The woman said, the bartender Barbara, she said, well, there's a pot of gold there. The man said, really? And no one's taken it yet? She said, no, I'm lying. I'm just really low on ideas. They rode out to the bridge, 4 counties away. On the way, though, they passed a row of hidden bunkers. For hidden bunkers, they weren't very hid well, the man thought. They said, do you want to knock on the door of a few? They went up to one of the bunkers. It kind of looked like a little hobbit hole. They pounded on the door and wondered if the person inside would even hear. Cause it was probably one of those really thick metal doors, like soundproof, ready to be blasted by explosions. But a man opened the door. He was wearing dolphin shorts and a bathrobe. He said, "Hey, I don't usually get visitors here, what's going on?" They said, we just noticed these, bunkers here, and we were just curious. Would you mind giving us a tour? The guy said, "Sure, come on in, I'm bored." They went into his bunker. The walls were lined with toilet paper. And they asked, "Hey, could I use your bathroom?" The man said, "I don't have a bathroom in here. You just kind of got to go outside and use some leaves." The man said, "Okay, I'll hold it." And they walked through the bunker. And they went to the downstairs part of the bunker. And at this point, the man was getting really impressed with the size of this bunker. The guy in the bunker, he said, "Hey, my name's Dave, so you can start referring to me as Dave from now on." And the man said, "That's good, but I won't tell you my name." Dave said, "Why not?" And the man said, "I don't know, I'm just being funny." Dave said, "Okay." And Barbara laughed. Dave said, "Anyways, this is the elevator. Do you want to go down the elevator?" And the man's eyes lit up. "Okay, let's go down the elevator." Rode down the elevator into the ground. The man was guessing how many floors they were going down, and it felt like it might be 14. 14 floors seemed like a good guess. And the man said, "Hey, what do you have down here?" "Well, just you wait," said Dave. And the elevator doors opened up. And it was nothing but a tennis court. Just an indoor tennis court. With the net. Surrounded by solid walls. A couple rackets sitting in the middle of the floor. A few tennis balls scattered. And then Dave said, "I don't suppose you like playing tennis, do you?" And the man said, "I've never played. But I feel like I have to play today." So Dave and the man played a round of tennis. And Dave stopped the game after a little bit. See, he was beating the man really badly at tennis because he had a little more practice than the man. The man said, "Okay, how much longer do you want to play tennis for?" And Dave said, "Well, I was thinking, we need to put a little more on the line here with one of these games." And the man said, "Well, I'll probably just beat you." And then Dave said, "Okay, well, how about I make it fair? You'll be a team of doubles, you and Barbara there, versus just me. You'll have the advantage, even though you lack skill." And the man said, "Okay, but what are we playing for?" And Dave said, "The world." And the man said, "Oh, well, how are we playing for the world?" And Dave said, "Well, you see this button over here, just kind of by the elevator?" And the man said, "Yeah, is that to call for the elevator?" And Dave said, "No. I have the little remote thing in my pocket for that." "Oh," the man said, "you have a remote for the elevator in your own little bunker? Why do you need a remote?" You only need the door to open once you're right in front of the door. But anyways, okay, what's that button do if it doesn't operate the elevator? And Dave said, well, this button here will detonate the Earth. Oh. Well, the man, he didn't want that to happen. He said, look, man, you can't detonate the Earth, you see. I gotta mow my lawn. I have to return a lawnmower. And at some point, I have to buy Barbara here a new fishing pole. And so Dave said, well, all you have to do then is beat me at a round of tennis. And then what? Said the man. Dave said, well, if you beat me, I'll make sure that I am not able to detonate the Earth. And how are we going to have that reassurance? Said the man. Dave said, well, I will let you take off the panel there, disconnect the button, and take the button with you. And see, I can't get any more of these buttons anymore. They're hard to find. So I just won't be able to rig this up again. You can count on that. And the man said, Barbara, what do you think? Barbara said, I don't think we have much of an option here. And she also said, you know what, man, I was kind of liking getting to know you, and I don't want the world to end now. The man smiled, and then his smile kept getting bigger, but not so big like the Grinch who stole Christmas. And then he said, okay, let's do this, Barbara, the bartender. Let's play tennis to save the world. They took their positions on the court, and Dave started with the ball, and he served the ball, and it went to the wall behind Barbara and the man. That was 1 point. They weren't off to a good start. Barbara said, you know what? I used to play volleyball in high school, and this kind of translates to volleyball. I just gotta get my head in the game. Okay, said the man. Let's play some catch-up now. All of a sudden, on their next turn, with the ball coming towards them, they made contact with the ball, and then it got into a decent rally for a while. Dave clearly had good agility as he was making his way back and forth on his own side, making up for the fact that it was just one man versus two players. But he started to get tired, and the man and Barbara were holding up well, and eventually they started scoring some points. After another hard rally, they scored another point. And at this point, after a few more points, they were really close to the victory. And then they got the victory. They won. They won the tennis match. 14 floors under the earth. Well, actually, I said it was 14 floors in the elevator, but then there's the floor in the main part of the bunker. So it was more like 15 floors under the earth. Under the earth's surface. But anyways, so 15 floors down into the earth. They won the tennis match, and so they went over to Dave and they said, okay, where's your screwdriver? Dave went up the elevator, got the screwdriver and stuff, and brought it back down, and they disconnected that button, and then Dave handed the button over to the man, and yeah, he said, you hang on to that, and then I won't detonate the earth. The man was quiet for a moment while he thought, well, this was an alright day. I didn't mow my lawn like I wanted to, but I guess I saved the earth. Although this guy Dave could just be really full of it. Like, how do I know that button actually works? But anyways, he thought, I got the button, and I'm just gonna assume I saved the earth. Dave said, "You two can ride the elevator up by yourself now and see your way out. And don't take anything." And the man assured Dave that he wouldn't take a thing. So the man and Barbara rode the elevator up, back to the bunker's main floor, and then out of the bunker and back to the Earth's surface. And the man said, "Well, that was quite the time we had in there. And you know what? I think I found a new hobby today. Because you see, I kind of enjoyed playing tennis there. Maybe I could get into tennis some more." And Barbara said that would be a good idea. It's a good exercise. "Well, should we get back to the Jeep?" the man said. And Barbara said, "Yeah." And then Barbara said, "Do you still want to go to that bridge?" And the man said, "Oh, absolutely. Let's go to that bridge. It's only a couple more counties away, right?" Barbara said something like that. They drove that Jeep on the dirty road, and the dirt waved through the sky, and they were on their way to the bridge.